It is a cool and overcast Monday night here in Central Florida. And while the weather may be grim outside, the action is about to heat up inside the Shark Tank for the first of 4 Atlantic basketball home games this week for both the boys and girls teams. Tonight, the Atlantic boys basketball team takes center stage for the first time this season as they welcome in the Seabreeze Sandcrabs for their home opener. Hello and a very warm welcome to tonight's production of Atlantic High School basketball on MJT Sports Productions. My name is Michael Trevillo, so happy to have you along with me, and I hope that everyone had a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving holiday, and you are ready for the feast of action on the hardwood over the next couple of weeks right here on MJT Sports Productions. After winning 2 preseason games, the Atlantic boys basketball team tipped off their regular season at the DME Thanksgiving tournament last weekend. The Sharks went 1-1, dropping their opener to DeLand before bouncing back to beat DME in overtime. I spoke to Sharks head coach Derek Williams before the game to get his thoughts on the first few games and to learn more about his team. I'm here with Atlantic boys basketball head coach Derek Williams before the Sharks take on the Seabreeze Sandcrabs. First home game of the season for you, Coach. How good does it feel to be at home after about a month on the road?
It feels pretty good. It feels good to be at home. It feels good to be in our home where we practice and we play a lot. So we're excited to be here and show our fans exactly what it is they're going to look forward to this year.
Third game of the regular season. You guys are 1-1 after splitting the Thanksgiving tournament last weekend. What are some of your thoughts, your takeaways after the first 2 games of the season?
Well, I think right now our kids are playing very hard. If you count the preseason game, we're 3-1 in overall, so they're playing pretty hard. We're competing, but I think we're just learning continuously every day. So every game we're getting better.
One last question. For somebody who is tuning in tonight for the first time to listen to this team, what are some names you're going to throw out there? Who should the listeners listen for? Who's going to be competing tonight?
I think they should be listening for Emmanuel Preston, AJ Rivera, Corey McDonald, and Cameron Reynolds. Those are some guys that you'll probably hear their name called a lot.
This is your first season in charge of the Sharks. You were an assistant here last year and a head coach for many years up in Alabama. How does it feel to finally be the head coach here at Atlantic?
Hey, it feels great. I'm glad to be here. This is a historic program, and hopefully we can get it back to where it was. So I'm excited to be here.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Well, a basketball game needs 2 teams, and tonight the Sharks have a dangerous dance partner in the Seabreeze Sandcrabs. Despite only posting a record of 9-17 last season, the Sandcrabs went on an impressive postseason run in the District 5A4 tournament. They upset Deltona and then toppled #1 seed Ponte Vedra before falling in the championship game against St. Augustine. And while they lost 4 seniors to graduation, including all area members Darius Malone and Avery Randolph, expect seniors Nicholas Grubel and Darren Armstrong to take the reins and lead the Sandcrabs. Now as tip-off approaches, it's time for tonight's edition of the MJT Sports Productions Keys to the Game. For the Seabreeze Sandcrabs, they got to dominate on the glass. Atlantic has had some issues against taller opposition at the DME tournament, so finishing second chance opportunities will be important tonight for the Sandcrabs. And for the Atlantic Sharks, you've got to find your leaders. Both all-area second-team players from last season are gone, and a new coach is in place. Discovering not only physical but emotional leaders on the floor will go a long way towards stabilizing the team moving forward. We are just about getting set to go. We will take a short break and then be right back for the starting lineups, national anthem, and tip-off. You're listening to Atlantic Sharks basketball on MJT Sports Productions.
Please let your good sports
We are just about set to go. Starting fives on the floor. I'll run you through them real quickly. That's Grubel, Nettles, Armstrong, Henry, and O'Hanlon for the Sandcrabs. McDonald, Bottolato, Rivera, Killingsworth, and Preston for the Sharks. The Sharks in white, trimmed with teal and black. They go from right to left across your radio dial. The Sandcrabs in red, trimmed with teal and white. They attack the basket to listeners' right. Well, the referees are ready. The teams are ready. The fans are ready. Without further ado, let's play basketball. Sandcrabs win the tip. It immediately goes to the left-hand corner and then cycles back out high for Armstrong. Armstrong raises options, goes to the left-hand corner again. And it cycles back to the top. Now a bounce pass inside to Armstrong. He kicks it out to the left-hand corner. A long two is up. It is no good. And the ball is bounced out of bounds. It'll be Sharks ball as it came off Cole Nettles underneath. Good defensive stand for the Sharks. 7:34 to go, third quarter. Nobody on the scoreboard yet. First Sharks possession coming up. Two-man press for the Sandcrabs. The ball goes into the front court for the Sharks. It quickly cycles underneath the basket, and a lob is good from Emmanuel Preston. Nettles controls for the Sandcrabs, loses the handle for a moment, then backs off. Two-man press for Atlantic is broken. The ball comes down the near-hand sideline, and a foul is called. Oh, no, they're going to call a travel, and the Sharks will have the basketball. Right in front of our broadcast position, courtside. Bottolato to inbound. It goes quickly to Rivera. Rivera crosses the timeline right to left. He pitches it back. Bottolato to the far side. It goes for McDonald. McDonald into the corner for Bottolato. Drives the baseline, kicks it underneath. The layup is no good from Preston, but an offensive rebound, and it cycles around to McDonald. McDonald the drive. Underneath for Preston. The pass is too hot to handle, and it's picked up by the Sandcrabs. Seabreeze will slow it down now. Crossing the timeline is O'Hanlon. He'll pitch it to Williams right here in front of the scorer's table. Then he'll go cross court to Grubel. Grubel left-hand drive, then he pitches it back out high. It comes to Armstrong. Armstrong gets a pick, throws it underneath the basket, and it comes back out high. Nice cycling work here for the Sandcrabs, but no offensive looks. Armstrong, left-hand drive, and a shot is blocked by the Sharks, picked up by the Sandcrabs on the rejection. Nettles, long two from the right-hand wing, is no good. A defensive rebound by the Sharks. McDonald quickly pushing it ahead. Killingsworth on the drive, and he lays it in, John Killingsworth. 4-0 Sharks.
Hey, make it hard now. Corey, make it hard.
5:56 and counting to go. Sharks inbounding under their basket. But a quick change for the Sandcrabs. Checking in for the first time. Can't see the number. Ball comes into Nettles. Nettles races down the floor. Nobody there, and he lays it in. Sandcrabs are on the board. 5:34 to go. 4-2 Sharks. McDonald, a long three from the right-hand corner is no good. Sandcrabs rebound with Grubel. He's going to slow it down right at midcourt. He gets it to Armstrong. Armstrong underneath the basket, fighting for it. Now baseline. It comes back to Grubel, who will reset at the top. Grubel worked on by Rivera out high. 5:07 to go. Nettles, left-hand dribble drive. Floater in the lane is good, and it's a tie ball game. Nettles has all four for the Sharks. Long pass ahead, and a nice left-hand layup is no good. Just missing it is Preston, and the Sandcrabs are immediately back underneath the basket to listeners' right. And we finally get an out-of-bounds call. DeJounte McDaniels in for the first time. John Killingsworth, the sophomore, checks out. Zed Martin also on for the Sandcrabs for his first action of the night. Seabreeze inbounding in the offensive zone underneath the basket. The ball is bounced past underneath, and a shot is blocked. Layup blocked by Preston. Bounce pass in transition, goes underneath the basket, and a reverse layup is no good from Bottolato. Grubel controls for the Sandcrabs and pitches it out to Armstrong in his own half of the court. He gets it into Nettles' left-hand corner. Nettles back out high for the freshly on the court Martin, who cycles it around, then gets it back. Nettles now, baseline. drives it halfway in, then pitches it under the basket. A leaping layup, two hands is good. That's Cole Long, who just checked in for the Sandcrabs. It's 6 straight for Seabreeze, and they have a 6-4 lead, 4:10 to go in the first quarter. 2 subs for the Sharks. Josh Burke is in, as well as Cameron Reynolds is in, and he has the basketball off the inbound. Sandcrabs trailing 6-4. Ball comes right side. All the way across it comes to the freshly in the game Reynolds. Left-hand corner rather, at a pass inside is incomplete and broken up by the Sandcrabs, but a turnover in transition gives it right back to the Sharks. Driving the lane and getting a shot blocked was McDaniels, but the Sharks control the rebound. And then a tripping foul is going to be called on the Sandcrabs. As Johnny Rivera tried to drive the lane, he got tripped up. Both teams make a sub. Back into the game is O'Hanlon for the Sandcrabs. And checking in for the first time is senior John Agbula. Agbula wears number 15. They'll stack him, gets it in. A three-pointer is hit, but a whistle goes beforehand. And Agbula quickly draws his first foul. Full court press on for the Sharks as the Sandcrabs inbound under the basket to listeners left. Wearing all red, the ball goes high across the court for Grubel. Grubel makes the catch. He drives the lane. He puts it up in traffic. He gets the bucket and the foul. Cameron Reynolds picks up his first foul. A nice, impressive basket by Grubel. His first points of the night. It's 8-4 Sandcrabs, and Grubel's going to go to the line. Sharks scored the first 4. Sandcrabs have scored the last 8, potentially 9, seeing how this free throw goes. Grubel's free throw is no good, too strong. Rebounded by the Sharks, and it's out of bounds underneath the basket. Josh Burke got the rebound. Zed Martin knocked it away from him. 3:38 to play first quarter. Sharks down 8-4. Reynolds with the basketball. Full court press on for the Sandcrabs. It comes into the hands of Josh Burke. He's double teamed. He turns the ball over. McKay drives the lane, Martin drives the lane, gets fouled, will go to the line. Josh Burke picks up his first, and that's 3 already in the first half. At the line for 2 is Zed Martin. And he misses the first one. The dangerous Darren Armstrong checks back in for the Sandcrabs. He immediately goes to box out position. But he's the only man in red down there. Second free throw is up. Second free throw is hit. Zed Martin is on the board with 1. It's 9-4 Sandcrabs over the Sharks. 3:26 to go. Full court press, double team in the corner, and the ball is taken away from DeJounte McDaniels, and McDaniels taps Grubel on the arm as he was getting the ball taken away from him. That's McDaniels first. Clock's going to be reset to 3:25. A bevy of Sharks about to check in. Preston is back in, Killingsworth is back in, and McDonald is back in. McDaniels out. Rivera out, and Burke out. Seabreeze inbounding under the offensive basket to listeners right. The ball goes in, and a nice easy layup under the basket for O'Hanlon. His first points of the night. It's 11-4. Sharks continuing to struggle with the pressure. Now they break contain. McDonald fires a wild pass underneath the basket looking for Emmanuel Preston, and it's out of bounds. Seabreeze basketball. 3:11 to play first quarter. Sharks scored the first 4. Now they've dropped the last 11. They trail 11-4. 3:05 to go in the first. Sandcrabs with the basketball. Grubel left-hand point. Gets it back to the top. It goes underneath for O'Hanlon. He spins in the lane, draws a double team, and travels. That was Cole Long underneath the basket. And the Sharks will take the first timeout of the evening. Want to get your business on the air in front of the Atlantic fans? If you would like to advertise via MJT Sports Productions, the official play-by-play internet radio partner of Atlantic High School, as a sponsor of Atlantic Athletics, please email Atlantic High School Athletic Director Tron Griffin at tdgriffy@volusia.k12.fl.us. That's TDGRIFFI at volusia.k12.fl.us, and your business could be on the air swimming with the Sharks. 2:57 to go, first quarter. The Sandcrabs have reeled off 11 straight. They lead at 11-4. Sharks inbound the basketball. Cameron Reynolds controls, crosses the timeline right to left. Immediately he is beset upon, but he breaks the contain. He drives to the basket and he lays it in. The ball hung on the rim forever. No bang. They're going to wave off the basket. They're going to call a foul on Zed Martin before the shot. That ball laid on the edge of the rim for what seemed like 10 years. And it finally dropped in. However, there was no shot on the play. Still the score, 11-4. Sharks inbounding at midcourt. But first a substitution. John Killingsworth out. And DeJounte McDaniels checks in. Sharks wearing the all-white, trimmed in teal and black. The ball comes into Reynolds, and he will hold the ball right at midcourt. Reynolds, right corner, McDonald. McDonald hands it off to Preston. Preston back up top for McDaniels. McDaniels drives the lane and travels. Seabreeze inbounds under their own basket, leading 11-4, 2:35 and counting to go in the first quarter. Zed Martin currently running point for the Sandcrabs. He's guarded by Reynolds out high. He drives the lane, a little bit of a Euro step, but his shot is blocked. Nice rejection by Emmanuel Preston, the freshman small forward. Inbound comes out high to Grubel. Right wing three is no good, too strong, and the offensive rebound is battled for and won by Seabreeze. Nice fight on the ground by Armstrong, but then he coughed the ball up off his foot. The ball is free. It's battled for right around the halfway point of the court, and it's going to be Seabreeze ball as Emmanuel Preston is called for the tripping foul, his first. Seabreeze will inbound right in front of our commentary position right here at the scorer's table. 2:10 to go. Armstrong inbounds it to Martin. Martin guarded by Reynolds, gets a nice pick, drives with the left hand, he puts up the layup, is good. Zed Martin, the second two-time scorer in this game, joining his teammate Nettles. And it's 13-4 with 2:04 to play in the first quarter. Sharks inbound now, get it to Reynolds. Reynolds crosses the timeline. Left wing it goes, then Reynolds gets it back. McDaniels inside of the post, and it cycles around to McDonald. Now Reynolds a high three. No good, front iron. And the ball pings off a Sharks player. Nope, a Sandcrab player. And will be Sharks ball to inbound. Atlantic to inbound. John Agbula checks back in for Preston. It comes in short to Badalato. McDaniels running the point. McDonald, a three from the wing is good. He rattled it home. Corey McDonald with a three, and it's 13-7. Grubel and Martin playing a little 1-2 to get past the short press. Now a left-hand drive after a pick from Martin. He stops up. He posts up underneath the basket, and a foul is called. Underneath the basket was Cole Long, and he got fouled. Cole Long misses the first of 2 free throws as Ajani Rivera checks back in for McDaniels. Coach Derek Williams still trying to figure out a solid 5-man lineup here. Second of 2 free throws on the way from Long. It is missed them both. Score remains 13-7. 1:15 to go first quarter. Sharks trail. And then a pass underneath is to nobody in particular, and the Sandcrabs have the ball. Armstrong quickly to the top of the key. He drives against 2, has his pass rejected, but it comes right back underneath. And a foul is called as a layup was attempted by Javion O'Henry. Agbula picks up his second foul. First free throw up and good for Javion Henry, his first of the game. And it's 14-7 with 1:02 to go, first quarter. A lot of energy in this building. They got as many people in here as they are legally allowed to. Second free throw is no good by Henry. Sharks come away with the basketball. Rivera at the point. Left-hand wing, it comes to Reynolds. Reynolds dribble dive, step back, long 3, no good. Offensive rebound underneath, and a finish by Baldalado.
No hands.
3-man press for Atlantic. The other 2 sit back.
Left. Other side. That's right side.
Armstrong into the front court for Seabreeze, guarded closely by Rivera. He plays cross court to Grubel, and then a pass inside is intercepted by the Sharks. McDonald trying to race after it. He saves it. No, he did not save it. He stepped on the line. It'll be Sandcrabs inbound. Corey McDonald chased down that basketball and almost kept it alive, but the Sandcrabs will have it in the left-hand quarter under their own basket. 20 seconds to play first quarter, 14-9 the lead for the Seabreeze Sandcrabs. Inbound it comes to Armstrong. Over the top it goes for Nettles. Nettles drives against 2. A layup is no good. The ball ping-pongs around, comes back to Armstrong. 11 seconds left. Now a drive off the window, no good by O'Hanlon, and the Sharks grab the rebound. Sharks quickly break the press. 1 second to go in the quarter. The layup is good. Did he get it off in time? He did indeed. Cameron Reynolds scores his first points of the quarter. 14-11 your score. We'll be back in 30 seconds. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Welcome back to the Shark Tank. It's 14-11. The Sandcrabs lead the Sharks home opener for boys basketball tonight. Scoring in the first quarter, McDonald with 3, Baldalado with 2, Killingsworth with 2, Preston with 2, and Reynolds with 2. Balanced scoring for the Sharks. That's their 11. For the Sandcrabs, Zed Martin with 3, O'Hanlon with 2, Henry with 1, Nettles with 4, Long with 2, and Grubel with 2. And that is how you get your score of 14-11. 8 minutes on the second quarter clock as we get ready to go. Lineups coming back out onto the field, or court rather. Sharks in the white trimmed with teal and black. Sandcrabs in the all crimson with sky blue and white. Sharks start this second quarter trailing 14-11. In the post it goes to Baldalado. And he will draw a foul, not shooting, from Martin. That's Martin's second. First to the quarter. Sharks inbound, attacking the basket to listeners left. Ball is slowed up by Rivera at the point. Rivera pitches it, then gets it back. Left-hand baseline drive. McDonald trapped in the corner. It comes to the right wing. Rivera a three. No good. Front iron, and the Sandcrabs grab the rebound, and it comes out to Zed Martin. Martin watched out high by Rivera, crosses the timeline. Working left to right here, second quarter. 14-11, the Sandcrabs lead the Atlantic Sharks. It goes into the corner for O'Hanlon. Then underneath the basket it comes, and losing the handle is Darren Armstrong. Sharks quickly ahead in a 2-on-3 to the lane. A one shot is missed, the second one is not. Baldolato picks up another one. Picks up his second basket of the night. The lead is now one for the Sandcrabs, 14-13. O'Hanlon pitches it to Grubel, right in front of the scorer's table. Now he dribbles with the left hand. He drives the lane after getting a high screen and lays it in. Nice dribble drive by Grubel. Froze the Atlantic defense. Nice post move it to the right-hand corner. It comes to McDonald. Then Rivera gets it back. McDonald now cycles to the left-hand corner, and then it's tapped out of bounds by Grubel. Atlantic inbounds, midway inside the Seabreeze half of the court. It comes out to Rivera. Rivera out high, gets a screen. McDonald in the corner for three. Oh, it almost went, but a scramble for the ball on the floor. It's going to be a tie-up, and the Sandcrabs will have the possession arrow. Seabreeze to inbound. They're up 16-13. Oh no, Atlantic ball. Nope, Sandcrabs to inbound. A little bit of confusion here, but they do get it into Grubel. 6:12 to go, 16-13 the advantage for the Sandcrabs. Grubel into the front court. Gets a pick, drives with the left hand, but this time he's double teamed. Gets it back out high to Martin. Martin gets a screen, drives the lane, left hand athletic layup is no good, but he is fouled. John Agbula picks up his third here in the first half. To the line for two goes Zed Martin. Sandcrabs up 16-13. His first free throw is good. 5:57 to go first quarter. Preston checking back in for the Sharks. Agbula now with 3 fouls goes to the bench. 17-13 before the second of 2 free throws. Coming for Zed Martin, and it is no good off the front of the iron. 5:55 to go first half. 17-13, the Sandcrabs lead the Sharks. Rivera running the point. Right wing it comes, now cycles around to the corner for Reynolds. Reynolds, nice post pass, and a left-hand layup is just no good, but getting his own rebound is Preston. It comes back out to Reynolds out high. A bounce pass is intercepted, and driving all the way down the lane and laying it in is Zed Martin. A strip and score for Martin pushes the lead to 19-13 Sandcrabs. Rivera up high. Into the post it goes, then cycles back out to the left-hand corner. A three on the way from Reynolds is no good, and it went out of bounds over the top of the basket. Seabreeze 19, Atlantic 13. The ball comes into Grubel. Atlantic will not press as Grubel works towards the front court. Now the pressure comes immediately when he hits the line, and a timeout is... No, it's not a timeout. Looks like we just had a bit of a clock issue. They're still trying to sort out this clock issue. 5:08 to play. 19-13 the score. A high pass comes into Grubel. Grubel guarded by McDonald. Spinning in the lane, a long two. In traffic is good from Grubel. 21-13. Underneath the basket it goes, and it's intercepted by the Sandcrabs. And a double dribble is called against Zed Martin.
Don't be that. Shoot it with confidence.
Seabreeze has the last 7. They lead 21-13. 4:42 to go first half. Cycle around to the left-hand corner. Baseline drive for Cameron Reynolds, and he gets fouled. Is they going to say it's in the act of shooting? Yes. Well, whatever it is, it's the 3rd foul on Zed Martin. And Darren Armstrong checks back in for him. They're going to say it's not in the act of shooting, so Atlantic gets an inbound underneath the basket that they attack to listeners left. It comes out high for Baldolado. It comes to the left-hand corner for Rivera, who drains a 3. First points of the night for Ajani Rivera. And now a 2-man press against Grubel. He finally breaks contain, cross the timeline, he drives coast to coast, left hand, and he gets fouled. Cameron Reynolds picks up his 2nd foul, and Grubel will go to the line. Grubel joint high scorer in the game right now with his teammate Zed Martin. Martin on the bench with 3 fouls. Grubel goes to the line. His first is rattled out. No good. 4:19 to play first quarter, 21-16. The Sandcrabs lead the Sharks. Second of 2 free throws is nailed from Grubel. He's up to 7, and the lead is 22-16. Sandcrabs over Sharks. Rivera out high. In the post it comes, then back out to McDonald for an NBA range 3, and he almost got it. It bounces to the hands of Grubel for the Sandcrabs. Sandcrabs have controlled the glass on both ends of the floor tonight. Grubel gets a screen out high, left-hand drive, kicks it to the corner for Nettles. Back to the top, a wide open 3 is no good by O'Henry. A drive down the lane, is stripped away, and a long pass ahead to Reynolds, who lays it in with the left hand. Cameron Reynolds broke the contain and got a fast break bucket. Timeout called by Seabreeze coach Pepper Johnson. As the official healthcare champion of Volusia County Schools, Advent Health is committed to providing championship caliber care with 4 hospitals, 4 urgent care centers, and 6 sports medicine and rehab locations across Volusia County. Advent Health is here to keep your student athlete off the sidelines and get them back in the game. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. 22-18 your score. The Sandcrabs lead the Sharks, 3:34 to go, first half. In a game that the Sharks feel like they're barely hanging on in despite only being down by 4. The ball comes in. Sandcrabs attack left to right. Armstrong crosses the center line right on the logo. Cross-court pass comes to Grubel. Grubel into the post it goes, and the shot is no good, but the foul is called. Preston picks up his second, and a layup was attempted by Long, and he will go to the line. His second trip to the line tonight was 0 for 2, his first trip. Sandcrabs up by 4, first of 2 on the way and good. Four Sandcrabs behind the half-court line. So only the shooter, Long, he hits his second. Lead is 6, 24-18. Rivera, left corner Reynolds, then Rivera gets it back. Right wing, out high McDonald. It goes all the way across to Reynolds. Guarded by Nettles. Driving the baseline and stepping on the line. Nope, he's gonna get tapped before he stepped on the line. It was a baseline drive by Cameron Reynolds. Cole Long picks up the foul, his first, and it'll be inbound and under the basket. The Sharks stack him up 4 wide. It goes out high to Rivera. Left-hand corner, a long 2, just falls out. That shot was by McDonald, but McDonald gets it back. Here's a three, it's good! Corey McDonald cuts the lead in half, 24-21. Sandcrabs over the Sharks, 2:41 to play in a high-octane first half. Grubel out high for the Sandcrabs wearing the all red. He's guarded by Reynolds. Now a double team comes and he pitches it to the left side to Armstrong. Armstrong forced all the way back to the midcourt line. Now a left-hand drive, and he travels. Atlantic basketball off of the travel by Darren Armstrong. A chance to tie this one up. They trail by 3, 2:21 to go. Rivera, left-hand corner, then gets it back. McDonald, left-hand corner, a three, no good. Chasing down the rebound is Rivera, and he comes back to it. Offensive rebound. Posting up underneath the basket, trying for a layup, and getting fouled is Anthony Baldalato. Nolan O'Hanlon picks up his first for the Sharks. And at the line is Baldalato. He's got 4 points, and he stays that way because the first free throw is out. Nettles comes in for the Sandcrabs. He replaces Grubel. And DeJounte McDaniels comes in for the Sharks. He's replacing Corey McDonald. Second of 2 free throws on the way. Chance to cut the lead to 2 here for Anthony Baldalato. Baldalato into his motion. A high shot is good. 24-22. Nettles quickly on the ball for the Sandcrabs, and he steps on the line.
Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. All right, who's the clock on?
We're still having a little bit of clock issues here. There will be 2 minutes to go. Sharks to inbound right in front of the scorer's table.
They have a clicker or no?
It'll be Seabreeze ball, excuse me. Nettles to inbound. He gets it short to Henry. Posting up high at the free throw line is O'Hanlon, and then O'Hanlon travels as he tries to drive the lane. 1:53 to go, 24-22. Sandcrabs lead, but the Sharks are in possession. Rivera crosses half court. Double teamed out high, pitches it right to Cameron Reynolds, then gets it back. McDaniels left wing, back to Rivera. Rivera to Cameron. Cameron bounce pass back to the top to Rivera. McDaniels back to Rivera. Now it goes inside and it's stripped to the ball is Baldalato, but he gets fouled. Darren Armstrong will pick up his first. And the Sharks in the bonus. So to the line goes Baldalato. 1 for 2 on his first trip to the charity stripe earlier in this quarter. Josh Burke checks back into the for the Sharks rather. Rivera, a very, very good shift at point guard for him the last 5 minutes. He checks out. 1 and 1 coming for Baldalato. First one is in. So he will get the second. Lead is 1, 24-23. And Anthony Baldalato is at the line. A chance to tie the game. The arena goes quiet. Baldalato shrugs his shoulders. Toes the line into his motion. It's a high arc and it's good. Tie game, 24-24. A minute 28 to go in the first half. Nettles takes the inbound pass for the Sandcrabs. He drives right at McDaniels. Almost loses the handle, but pushes it back to Armstrong. Armstrong on the Atlantic logo, calling a play. Both coaches up off the bench yelling instructions to their teams. Nettles left-hand corner, almost had it poked away from him by McDaniels. He manages to get it back out to the top for O'Hanlon. Then Armstrong takes it. 1:01 to play in the first half. Not much time left to shoot. Armstrong into the lane, baseline. He gets it back inside, and it's turned over. Oh, and it's turned right back over to the Sandcrabs, and a bucket is made. Darren Armstrong with his first points of the contest. Quickly pushing it ahead of the Sharks, 38 seconds to go. Reynolds in the lane, a quadruple team, and he finishes anyway. 26-26. Quickly into the offensive front court go the Sandcrabs. Left-hand wing, a three is no good. Offensive rebound, and a foul and one. As Cole Long drove the lane, got fouled by Burke. It'll be Burke's second. So 28-26 and one to come for Cole Long. And he makes it. 29-26. Rivera and McDonald check back in. 24 seconds to play. 3-point deficit for Atlantic, 29-26 in the first half. Rivera, the short inbounds pass, guarded under his own basket, but he breaks the pressure. Baldolado drives the lane, off the window, good with 14 seconds. 10 seconds now, Grubel guarded out high by Rivera. He gets it into the front court. Now draws the double team. He's still out high with one to shoot. He falls down and travels. 0.4 seconds to play in the first half. I don't think there's time to get a shot off. There is 0.5 seconds left to play in the first half. The Sharks have it in front of their own bench. They will just get it in, and a half-court shot is no good. Your score at a half, an energetic, very crazy back and forth end-to-end first half here at the Shark Tank. The Seabreeze Sandcrabs 29, the Atlantic Sharks 28. We will take a break and be right back to recap your halftime scores. This is MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. It is halftime at the Shark Tank, and the score couldn't be closer. 29-28, the Seabreeze Sandcrabs lead the Atlantic Sharks' first boys basketball home game of the season, and this game has been end-to-end action. Pretty much no chance for a breath either way. Here are the scores. For the Sandcrabs, Grubel with 6, Long with 6, Nettles with 4, Martin with 6, Armstrong with 2, O'Hanlon with 2, and Henry with 1. That gets them 29. And for Atlantic, McDonald with 3, Baldolado leads all scorers with 9, Rivera with 3, McDaniels with 3, Killingsworth with 2, Preston with 2, and Reynolds with 6. And that gets you your score of 29-28 Sandcrabs. Only people in foul trouble are Zed Martin for the Sandcrabs. He has 3 fouls. And John Agbula for Atlantic has 3 fouls. Everybody else has 2 or less. And that is your halftime report here from the Shark Tank. We'll be back live courtside in 4 minutes for the start of the second half. Stay with us. Sharks fans, can't make it to the Shark Tank for Atlantic basketball games? MJT Sports Productions is the official play-by-play home of your Atlantic Sharks. Be sure to like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Twitter, all at MJT Sports Productions, so you'll never miss a moment of the action. Let's go Sharks. And during the quick break, we did get a confirmation of a scoring change for Atlantic. It's McDonald with 6, not 3, and McDaniels has no score. And I attributed 6 points to Cole Long. He actually scored 7. So a quick little addendum to my halftime scoring update. 1:08 to go until the whistle blows. So I have time to remind you that Advent Health is here for you and with you. Meant during every timeout, every tip-off, and every season to support you physically, mentally, and this game called life. Advent Health is on your team, and they're your biggest fan. They're here to help you feel whole. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Volusia County School Athletics. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. Right now, the Sandcrabs and the Sharks making their way out of their respective locker rooms back out onto the court. 30 seconds left on the clock here for the halftime interval. Once again, your score at the half, Sandcrabs 29, Sharks 28. It's been a really close contest. It seemed for a couple of minutes there in the middle of the third that the Sandcrabs were going to pull away. They scored 7 straight to start the second quarter. To take an 8-point lead, the Sharks came roaring back, and the deficit is now just 1 as we get ready to start the second half. We are live from courtside here at the Shark Tank. The Sandcrabs and the Sharks opening home game of the season for Atlantic. First game period of the season for Seabreeze. Atlantic 1-1. Seabreeze obviously with no record. The Sharks will start the second half. The Sharks will start the second half. They go left to right in the white trimmed with teal and black. Sandcrabs defend the basket to listeners right. In the red trimmed with sky blue and white. Ball goes underneath the basket, then back out high to Rivera. Rivera holds it there, floats it, and a long three from the right wing is nailed! Corey McDonald, his third three of the game. Quickly into the front court comes Nettles. Baseline jumper from 10 feet is an air ball too short. An offensive rebound for the Sandcrabs is grabbed, and then getting fouled under the basket is Javion Henry. Preston picks up his third. Second Shark with 3 fouls, joining John Agbula. First of 2 free throws, hits the back of the iron and is no good from Javion Henry. Henry only a single point picked up on the first quarter. He's now 1 of 3 from the line. Make that 1 of 4 as the second one rims out. 29-31. The Sharks have the lead. 7.5 minutes to go, third quarter. Right wing side, it comes then back out high to Rivera. Sandcrabs in a 2-3 zone. The ball is lobbed toward the net, and he was looking for Emmanuel Preston, and the ball went over his head. Inbound coming for the Sandcrabs. Here comes the full court press. The ball comes in. Armstrong trying to break the press. He dribbles right in front of me, kicks it to the left-hand corner, where it's controlled by O'Hanlon, and the ball is tried to pass back to Armstrong and tipped back into the backcourt by Rivera. Armstrong runs all the way back to retrieve it. 6:55 to play the third. And then Armstrong is tied up by Rivera. That'll be a foul on Ajani. First for Rivera, despite leading the team in minutes played. Ball comes into Armstrong. Backdoor pass to Nettles. Nettles, a 10-footer off the window, is no good. Battle for the rebound, it's on the floor, and the Sharks come away with it. Rivera splits a double team in his own half. Now Sharks with the numbers if they hurry. Driving the lane, putting the ball up off the glass, no good, is McDonald. And then the rebound, a foul by Javion Henry, his first. And it was recovered by Anthony Baldolato, who leads all scorers with 9. And he will go to the line to shoot 2. 3 of 4 from the stripe so far in this game. First shot's up and good. Sharks with their first lead of the ball game, 32-29 the score. Second of 2 free throws coming for Baldolato. Baldolato up, and it rims out. He almost had it. And the Sandcrabs will get the ball inbounding under the basket after the ball pinged off of McDonald down low. 3 press, now a full court press coming for the Sharks. Ball gets in and they back off. Grubel on it for the Sharks under his own basket. Now he steps forward onto the Atlantic logo at midcourt. Grubel slows it down, plays it across to Armstrong. Tried to throw it to the left-hand corner, and the pass was deflected by Reynolds, and it'll be Sandcrabs to inbound in front of their own bench. They attack the basket to listeners left in this second half. They wear the all-scarlet strip, Carolina blue, piping down the sides, and blue numbers trimmed in white. Armstrong gets the ball off the inbound. Up high it comes to Grubel, and whistles everywhere. Not sure why the whistle was blown. No foul was called, but the Sandcrabs will inbound across from their bench on the right-hand side. Grubel's pass is deflected out of bounds, and the Seabreeze will have it inbounding right from this exact same spot. Nice play by Ajani Rivera to break up that pass. Darren Armstrong over to throw the ball in for the Sandcrabs. He throws it all the way across. Armstrong picks up the pass. Grubel now up high. Armstrong a double team into the corner for O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon now double teamed in the corner. He tries to bounce pass into the baseline, and it's picked off. And a long pass up ahead finds Reynolds, who lays it in on the fast break. Lead 34-29 for the Sharks as they continue their hot streak to open up the third quarter. A pass into the baseline for the Sandcrabs is wild and out of the hands of Armstrong. So the Sandcrabs pointless in the second half so far. 5:41 left in the third. The Sharks have reeled off 6 straight to open the quarter. A Reynolds 3, Badalato from the line with 1. McDonald's 3, Reynolds from the line with 1, and then Reynolds for 2. Here's McDonald, short jump shot, no good. Battle for the rebound down on the baseline, and who got the basketball? Seabreeze has the basketball, inbounding under their own basket. That was a good look from McDonald, just a little bit too strong. He sidestepped to his left and got a nice 15-foot look, but could not finish it. Armstrong crosses the timeline, guarded closely by Rivera. The ball comes into the post, and a traveling violation called against Javion Henry. Sharks inbound in front of the Sandcrabs bench. They work left to right. Rivera guarded very closely by E.J. Williams. Rivera into the front court, and he travels. Short pass in. Armstrong running step for step with Rivera. He gets to the point. He throws the ball underneath the basket. A layup is no good. The battle for the rebound goes to the Sandcrabs. Running the floor, and the pass went up towards McDonald. And Nicholas Grubel's going to be called for a foul. That's his first of the game, if you can believe it, as he grabbed Corey McDonald in transition. The tall, lanky Emmanuel Preston, 6'5", the tallest player on either team, is back out on the floor. He stands top of the arc. The ball goes into the backcourt for Rivera. He crosses the timeline, 4:55 to play in the third quarter. 34-29, the Sharks lead the Sandcrabs. Ball comes to the right-hand wing. Now Rivera gets it back. He's open for 3 from straight on, and he knocks it down. Ajani Rivera, his second 3 of the night. He's up to 6 points, and it's 37-29. The Sandcrabs still have not scored in the quarter. Zed Martin checks back in for the Sandcrabs. He had his pass tapped out right at midcourt. Checking in for the first time tonight is Jackson Sprangle, the center for Seabreeze. That is, he is in there to match the height of Emmanuel Preston. Ball comes in short to Grubel. He stands right at the teal Shark logo at midcourt. He gets a high screen. He drives with his left hand. He's stood up by McDonald, and now the ball comes back to Martin up high. Martin slows it down, 4:16 to play in the third. Right-hand wing for Grubel. He tries a 3. It's airballed underneath. Battling for the rebound is won by the Sandcrabs, and then a traveling violation before the shots. Cole Long traveled down low, looked to have an easy bucket, but shuffled his feet, and the Sharks will take possession back. Half the third quarter gone. The Sandcrabs have not scored in the last 4 minutes. Meanwhile, it's been an 8-point stretch for the Sharks. Rivera into the lane. Nice bounce pass under the window. Reverse layup is good from Emmanuel Preston. Nice backdoor cut move by Preston, and he had an easy layup with nobody next to him. Grubel now, driving with the left hand, baseline jumper, back iron no good, battling for the rebound Reynolds. He picks up the basketball. Reynolds pushes the pace ahead to Rivera. Rivera slides by one. He's open for a three in transition, and it's no good, but a high rebound is battled for and grabbed by the Sandcrabs. Quickly ahead to Grubel, cross the timeline, 3:22 to go in the third quarter, and his pass is wild and into the hands of Rivera. Rivera now drives, kicks, layup, it is good. Anthony Baldalato. Timeout called by the Seabreeze Sandcrabs. 3:11 to go in the third quarter. 41-29 the score. Sharks lead the Sandcrabs. Let me do some quick math here. It is a 14-0 run over the past 5 minutes. The Sandcrabs scoreless since the halftime interval. Remember, they led 29-28 at the run. And I'll tell you what it is. It's tempo, and it's the introduction of height and post play. It's two things the Sharks didn't have in the first half. Yes, they've hit 2 threes, but they've been set up by excellent post play, and the Sandcrabs having to commit numbers down low to guard specifically Emmanuel Preston. He's 6'5". He's the tallest player on the floor. The Sandcrabs subbed in center Jackson Spragle, the senior, but he is slower. He can't match Preston for pace, and so when the Sharks get out in transition, the Sandcrabs with a slower lineup on the floor, they can't run with him. That's been the difference. And while Preston only has 2 points, he's been the linchpin for everybody else. 3:11 to go, ball about to be put back in play. Sandcrabs will have it, wearing the all-red strip. They attack from right to left. In this second half, they trail 41-29. Martin to inbound. Full court press from the Sharks. It comes in short. Lewis gets it back. Lewis bounce pass, splits 2 defenders. Nice ball to Martin. The ball comes out to the baseline, and it comes back to the top for Armstrong. Right-hand corner, Troutman. Now top for Lewis. Lewis left-hand drive, had it stripped by Preston. Preston bounce pass ahead. Reynolds in traffic, no good on the rebound. The rebound is in. Emmanuel Preston and one as he followed up the miss on the transition layup by Cameron Reynolds. I tell you what, Reynolds and Preston have an absolutely dynamite dynamic when they get out in space together. DeJounte McDaniels checks in. It's 43-29. Sandcrabs still scoreless in the third quarter. And the extra from Preston is good. 44-29. The Sharks have blown this one wide open. 2:42 to go in the third. Left-hand drive from the middle of the court, and a high layup is over the top of the backboard from Darren Armstrong. It'll be Sharks basketball. Sharks inbounding from underneath their own basket to listeners left. It comes into Reynolds, and he gets bumped by Armstrong as he attempted to leave his own half of the court. Second foul on Armstrong of the evening. Reynolds takes the inbounds pass, and he gets bumped by Armstrong again. Exact same play that happened right before. Armstrong picks up 2 fouls in succession, and he very quickly has racked up 3 fouls here in this third quarter. Baldalato again to inbound in front of the Seabreeze bench for the third straight time. He gets it in to Reynolds. Reynolds now with a double team, and now the foul is called on Martin, who pushed him in the back. That's Martin's 4th. It looks like Cole Nettles is getting ready to check back in for Martin, and Martin does go to the bench. Nettles checks in number 12, wearing number 12 for the Sandcrabs. 2:28 left, 44-29, the Sharks lead. 3 straight fouls on this press. The ball comes into Preston right in front of the scorer's table, then he drives all the way to the basket and gets fouled by Sprangle. That'll be Sprangle's first foul of the night, but he has only played in this third quarter. But going to the line for 2 is Preston. He has shown up in this third quarter, I tell you what. First of 2 free throws on the way and a rims out. Checking in for the Sandcrabs is Javiano Henry. And he replaces the big man, Sprangle. Second of 2 free throws coming. And in and out. Emmanuel Preston misses them both. The score remains 44-29 Sharks. Fast break attempt here. Nettles, mid-range 2 in transition from the baseline is no good. And then the ball is tapped out of the hands of Baldolato as he tried to break the zone. And it looks like Baldolato touched it last. It'll be Sandcrabs to inbound under the basket that they attack. That's the listeners left. 2:13 to go in the third. 44-29, Sharks on top of Seabreeze. Armstrong to inbound. It comes back to the top for Henry. To the corner for Armstrong. Armstrong drives baseline, kicks it all the way across to Nettles, who leaps to corral the pass and keep it in. Up to the top for Trashad Troutman, who's just checked in. Nettles, right side corner, Armstrong. Armstrong back up top. He dribbles, tries to dribble, stood up by Reynolds, and he loses the basketball. It's a scramble underneath the basket. Reynolds hits the deck, and a foul is called. Oh, they're going to call it on Baldolato for a trip. That'll be Baldolato's first of the night. Oh, no, they're going to call it on Preston. And that's Preston's fourth. Troutman back to the top for Henry. Back to Troutman, left-hand wing. Henry, top of the arc, guarded by McDonald. Now Troutman looking for a drive. He's defended well. This 2-3 zone working well for the Sharks. They're keeping the Sandcrabs on the perimeter. Cross-court pass is intercepted. Running the floor is McDonald. He lays it off in transition to Reynolds, who couldn't handle the pass. And the ball deflects off a Seabreeze player. That's Cole Nettles. And it'll be Atlantic basketball underneath the basket. John Agbula checks back in for Atlantic. He replaces Emmanuel Preston, who has been exceedingly efficient, but also has 4 fouls. And they'll want to save him for the fourth quarter. Ball comes in. Quick 3 from long range is good! Corey McDonald with the showstopper. And a steal immediately by McDonald, and he is tripped up. And a foul is coming. Nettles is going to be called for that one. His second, and the Sharks are in the bonus as McDonald goes to the line. So McDonald, he caught the wild pass inbounded from Reynolds and then just lofted a 3 from NBA range and knocked it down. And then he immediately stole the ball back and got tripped up. That's why he's the line for the 1-and-1. The first one is good. 48-29 the score, a minute 11 left to go. And in. 21-0 the run for the Sharks. A long inbound for the Sandcrabs is stolen away by McDaniels at half court. The Sharks have it in the front court again. Baseline drive now for Reynolds. He dishes it off into the corner for McDaniels, who bounces it off a Sandcrab foot, and it'll be Sharks to inbound underneath the basket. A minute flat to go. 49-29, Atlantic has a 20-point lead. The ball comes all the way out high to McDonald. Corey McDonald, left-hand dribble drive. Nice pass underneath the basket, and a foul is called on as John Agbula went up for the basket. It'll be on Tyler Williams. It'll be his first. At the line is Agbula, and he airballs the first one short. John Killingsworth is going to check in for the first time in this second half. He replaces Cameron Reynolds. 8 points for Reynolds so far tonight. 54 seconds to go. Second half of 2 shots coming for John Agbula. The center fires, and he misses it long. But the rebound is grabbed by the Sharks. Out high for McDaniels. Right-hand wing, it goes to McDonald. McDonald, the double team, throws it all the way across the court, and it ping-pongs around to McDaniels. McDaniels back out high. Now Josh Burke, who's just checked in, drives and finishes with the left hand. Josh Burke, his first points of the ball game, and it's 51-29. Now a ball is off of the Sandcrabs and out underneath the Sharks basket. The Sandcrabs tried to inbound it short to O'Hanlon, and it bounced right off his hands and back out of bounds. McDaniels, long inbound, finds Corey McDonald. McDonald, the double team on the right, double teamed on the left, on the left-hand wing, gets it up top to Burke. Burke looked like he wanted to drive left hand, draws the double team to McDaniels' left-hand corner. Now it's cycled back to the top for McDonald. McDonald, left-hand drive to the free throw line, tries to dish it inside to Agbula. Agbula trying to tie the ball up on the baseline. It does eventually go to the Sandcrabs. Sandcrabs trying to do a transition offense and a diving stop, but the ball comes to the corner. It's high off the glass from a three, no good. The left-hand corner as the third quarter clock expires is good. And they'll call it a three from Nicholas Grubel. And that is the only points of the third quarter for the Seabreeze Sandcrabs. Your score after a dominant third quarter, 51-32, Sharks over the Sandcrabs. We'll take a 30-second break and be right back. You're listening to MJT Sports Productions broadcast of Atlantic Sharks basketball. Start of the fourth quarter here at the Shark Tank. That was one of the best quarters a team could possibly have. The Sharks outscored the Sandcrabs 23-3, and the only Sandcrab points came on a three as the time expired.
Hey, Corey, you won. 51. Whose ball is it? This ref. Whose ball? Okay.
Sandcrabs will start. They go right to left, down 32-51. 8 minutes to play in the ball game. Ball comes out high. Darren Armstrong, it goes to the right-hand corner, left-hand dribble drive. Now a kick out back to Grubel. His three from the right-hand wing is no good. Long rebound comes to McDonald. McDonald guarded closely by O'Henry. McDonald pushes it and then gets it back. The Sharks will now slow it down. McDaniels at the point, splits a double team, kicks it to the right-hand corner. A three is good! John Killingsworth, the football quarterback on the hardwood, making it look easy. And now the transition, excuse me, I'll state it again. Seabreeze tried to break in transition, and a foul underneath the basket will send Tashad Troutman to the line. That is Agbula's fourth. And the first of two is good from Troutman, his first points of the night. 54-33, Sharks lead. Second of two free throws upcoming. The left-hander nails it. Ajani Rivera checks in. And John Agbula comes out after picking up his fourth foul.
Hey, sir.
Sharks inbound. Rivera, guarded by his opposite number, Henry. Pitches it across the timeline to Burke. Burke, back to Rivera at the point. Guarded by Henry, who is about a foot taller than him, it seems. Drive, left hand layup, and a foul. No, a kickball is called against Rivera. Oh no, they're gonna call Tyler Williams for the trip. That's Williams' first. Excuse me, his second. That's Tyler Williams' second. At the line is Rivera. His first free throw is too strong, no good. .6:57 to go, 54-34, 20-point lead for the Sharks. Second of two free throws is knocked down. Rivera, his fourth points of the quarter. A quick double team on the inbounds, but the Sandcrabs break contain. Troutman to the corner for Grubel. Grubel tries to drive baseline and travels. Traveling hits the Sandcrabs again, as it was Nolan O'Hanlon who just checked back in, who tried to drive baseline, and I'll tell you, if he didn't travel, that was a pretty easy layup. There was nobody there. Rivera into the front court. Right-hand dribble drive. Kick to the right-hand wing. McDonald makes a man miss. Step back. Three from the point. Oh, in and out. But a nice diving save and the rebound by Burke. Rivera out high. Nice fake to get by Troutman. It comes around to the corner. McDaniels a three. No. This time the rebound sticks to the hands of Grubel. Grubel fires it all the way down the court and over the head of everybody. It will be Shark basketball. Atlantic in the snazzy white uniforms with a large teal strip down the sides and a shorter black strip next to it, and what looks like claw marks on the left hand, on the sides of the jersey as well, interrupting the stripes. The numbers are teal trimmed in black. The lettering on the front saying Atlantic is black trimmed in teal and white. The inbound comes to Rivera. He's double teamed in the corner. He's still double teamed in the corner. Tries to dribble out of it, he does. Across the timeline, Rivera into the lane. Tried to do it all himself, but he'll slow it down. And that timeout is called by Derek Williams. 6:03 to go, fourth quarter, 55-34. Sharks lead the Seabreeze Sandcrabs, and this is the first home game for Derek Williams as the head coach of Atlantic High School. He was the assistant last year to Brad Frazier, who moved on to become the head coach at Deltona. And he was a head coach for 8 years in his native Alabama, led Adamsville Minor and Mobile Blount to 149 wins in 8 seasons. Before that, he played college ball at Lipscomb and Birmingham Southern. That is Derek Williams, the new head coach of the Atlantic Sharks. .6:03 left to play. Atlantic to inbound in front of their own bench after the timeout, leading 55-34. The ball comes into McDaniels, and they're going to get him for an over and back. So McDaniels took the inbound and then dropped back behind the backcourt. They called him for an over and back. Seabreeze with the ball, inbounding right in front of us. The inbound goes to Armstrong. Armstrong guarded by Killingsworth out high. Grubel now draws the double team in the left-hand corner. The ball cycles around. Now posting up is O'Hanlon, and O'Hanlon draws the foul from Ejani Rivera. That'll be Rivera's second. It wasn't a shooting foul, so the Sandcrabs will inbound. Bounce pass under the basket. A layup is good for Trishad Troutman. He's the only scorer for the Sandcrabs so far in this fourth quarter. Long pass up the court off the inbound for the Sharks is knocked out of bounds by O'Hanlon right at the midcourt stripe. Went right into the cheerleader section for Atlantic, who is right across from us, across from the scorer's table. Ball comes into Rivera, standing right on the Atlantic logo, guarded by Troutman. Rivera pushes it to the right-hand corner, and now a left-hand drive from the corner to the middle to the basket, and no good from Corey McDonald. Nice move, deserved to finish, didn't get it. Long out pass, baseline drive, pitch inside, and a layup is good for Javion Henry. The first consecutive points that the Seabreeze Sandcrabs have scored in the second half. A dribble drive and a floater from 10 feet is no good from Rivera. Sandcrabs quickly pushing it ahead. To the left-hand corner it comes. Grubel, a three, got it. Excuse me, O'Hanlon, a three. 7-0 run for the Sharks, for the Sandcrabs rather. They're still in this. McDaniels. Then it'll be slowed down and Baldolato will take possession out high. It comes back to Rivera. Sharks lead the Sandcrabs 55-41 with 4.5 minutes to go in the ball game. Rivera, left-hand drive, into the middle, kicks it to the corner. A long three from the corner is no good. Ooh. And then a rebound putback is also no good. That one by McDaniels. The three was attempted by Giovanni Sprata, who's just checked into the game. Pass under the basket to O'Hanlon. His momentum took him away from the cup, so he's forced to send it back out high to Armstrong. O'Hanlon in the corner, drives against the double team, puts up the shot, gets fouled. The shot doesn't go. It hung on the rim for a couple of seconds, but eventually fell off. And Reynolds is called for his third foul. The lead is 14, 55-41. Sandcrabs not mathematically out of this one yet. And at the line for two is Nolan O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon's first is no good, he missed it short. And into the ball game comes John Agbula and Cameron Reynolds. DeJounte McDaniels departs, as does Giovanni Sprata, having only a short stint on the floor. Second of two free throws coming for O'Hanlon. He missed the first one. The right-hander is into his motion, and he rattles down the second one. O'Hanlon now with 4 points in the quarter. Full court press on from the Sandcrabs. Sharks looking to break, and they do get it into the front court. McDonald at the free throw line. Drives the lane, and then the ball is cycled back out high, and Rivera will slow it down. Guarded by his opposite number, Henry. Rivera gets it back in the right-hand corner. Baseline drive, shot is blocked. The rebound comes to the Sharks, and it's put away by John Agbula. Agbula's first point of the game, fast break for the Sandcrabs, and a foul is called. They're gonna get Agbula, and that'll be Agbula's fifth, and he'll be done. It was a smart pass to Javion Henry, who had gotten behind the defense. And that'll be the end of the night for John Agbula. He ends with 2 points, but a lot of strong defensive work and a couple of assists as well. At the line is Javion Henry. And his first free throw is too long. It's no good. Henry, his second, is also no good. The rebound is grabbed by Trashad Troutman, but not before he fouled Anthony Baldolato. That's the first foul for Troutman. He has only played the second half, but he has been effective. He has 4 points. But the Sharks in the bonus, so a 1+1 coming for Anthony Baldolato. (57-42) the Sharks lead. 3:25 to go. First of a 1-and-1 coming for Baldolato. It's up. And it's good. Nailed it. Nothing but net for Anthony Baldolato. Second of a 1-and-1 on the way. Once again, Reynolds at home. Baldolato makes it 2. 59-42 the lead, and a turnover on the inbounds pass. Rivera has it. He throws it underneath. Oh, he was looking for the alley-oop. Spectacular play to Baldolato, but it didn't quite work, and the Sandcrabs have it back. Pass in the lane. Baseline jumper is good for Henry. Two-man press for the Sandcrabs. Rivera and Baldolato, and they'll play it out to Reynolds. Across the timeline, 2:55 to play in the fourth. And Darren Armstrong pulled up, favoring his right ankle, and he will have to be replaced. Coming on is Cole Long. And that's a tough one for the Sandcrabs, and I hope he is okay, because he is the main man for Seabreeze, Darren Armstrong. And you can tell he was arguing with his coach. I don't know if you caught any of that on the microphone here. He did not want to come out of the ballgame. Sharks inbound to Rivera. Rivera standing right on the A of the Atlantic Sharks logo at midcourt. Oh, a nice little fake and a drive and a pick and then a travel. He kicked it to Reynolds, who was free on the right-hand corner, but Reynolds traveled before he could get a shot off. Now it'll be Sandcrab basketball. 2:43 to play, 59-44. The Sharks have the lead. Nicholas Grubel. The ball is cycled around to the corner for O'Hanlon. Now up top for Henry. Henry and Troutman, back to Hanlon. Bounce pass underneath, and it's turned over. A nice interception by Corey McDonald. McDonald controls the ball, stops out high, and will survey his options. Guarded by his opposite number. The ball goes into the left-hand corner, and a three on the way for McDonald is short, and Seabreeze grabs the rebound. Nice job by Henry. Grubel gets a screen, pick and pop, knocks it down from straight on. 6 points in the second half, both on threes. A long pass underneath the basket for the Sharks, and in. Oh no, he just missed it, Emmanuel Preston, but he did get fouled.
I said 30. That's what I said. You ain't look at me then.
I don't know who they called the foul on. I think it's Javen Henry. And Preston will go to the line to shoot two. Oh, the foul was on Long, not Henry. That's Long's third. 59 or 60 to 47 as the first of two free throws was made by Preston. The second one is on the way, and it is also good. Preston makes them both. Breaking contain, passing it over to the right side. O'Hanlon tries a three, knocks it down. Two straight quick threes, one by Grubel and one by Nolan O'Hanlon. And the Sharks will call. They're going to call a timeout for Seabreeze, and then a technical foul has been called against Seabreeze head coach Pepper Johnson. And you can hear that the traveling Seabreeze supporters behind the bench are not happy. The coaches are definitely not happy. Both Pepper Johnson and his assistant are out there arguing the call. First, only technical foul so far tonight goes against Johnson. 1 minute and 50 seconds to go in the ball game. 61-50, an 11-point lead for the Sharks. Play hard, eat clean, love big, and start living your best life, because we're here to help heal what hurts, ease your mind, and lift your spirit with the latest in medical innovation and whole person care. It's time to take control of your health. It's time to feel whole. Advent Health is a proud supporter of Volusia County School Athletics. Visit adventhealth.com to learn more. So we are still processing what just happened. Coach Pepper Johnson called a timeout, then immediately was teed up by the head official. So it'll be 2 shots in the ball for the Sharks, up by 11, 61-50 with a minute 50 to go in the game. Anthony Baldolato will take the shots. He's the only one in the offensive end of the court, the basket to listener's right. Baldolato stands and waits. The first of 2 technical foul shots is good. Baldolato 3 for 3 from the line here in the fourth quarter. Can he make it 4? He's into his motion. He fires and he gets it. He's only missed 1 so far. He's got 7 points from the line tonight, does Baldolato. And the Sharks will inbound from midcourt. It comes into Rivera. Rivera guarded by Grubel right at the timeline. 1:44 to go. Kicked back out to Reynolds by McDonald. McDonald guarded by Troutman. A left-hand dribble drive stops at the top of the arc, and the ball is laid off to the left-hand corner for Rivera. Rivera back in the midcourt stripe for McDonald. McDonald gets past one man, then shovels it across to Reynolds. Reynolds back to Rivera. The Sharks really just focused on cutting some clock here. Now the double team comes. Into the corner for Reynolds, back to Rivera out high. Trapped against the midcourt stripe. Rivera gets away from the double team, then finds Reynolds again. Reynolds now draws the double team. He finds a bounce pass to McDonald. Under a minute to go now, 55 seconds. Rivera double teamed right in front of the scorer's table, and a timeout called by Atlantic. This is the first of 4 Atlantic Sharks broadcasts coming your way on the MJT Sports Production Network over the next week. Tomorrow, it'll be the girls in action against Lake Mary. The Rams visit the Shark Tank. That's a tip-off at 6 p.m. Then on Wednesday, former head coach Brad Frazier comes back to the Shark Tank with the Deltona Wolves. That's on Wednesday, tip at 7. And then Deltona's on Wednesday for the boys team. Reynolds gets the ball alone under the basket, and he lays it in. Nice pass by McDonald. At the top, around to the corner. Nettles a 3, airballed it. And Rivera grabs it. He gives it up nicely after being hounded. And then a foul is called on Zed Martin as the Sharks were trying to break contain. That should be his 5th. And that will be his 5th. So Zed Martin exits the game with 6 points. No scoring in the second half for Martin. 1-1 upcoming for Corey McDonald as the Sharks have a 15-point lead with 28 seconds to go. E.J. Williams checks in for the Sandcrabs and then immediately checks out again as Nicholas Grubel comes back on. 1-1 coming from McDonald. His first attempt is, it's 2 shots, and the first attempt is no good. Second one is up, misses it short. The Sharks back off, 23 seconds to go. Pushed forward into the hands of O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon drives, double team underneath. His layup no good. Offensive rebound for the Sandcrabs. Another layup attempt is no good, this time from Long. And the ball is knocked out of bounds off the hand of McDonald. And it will be Sharks to inbound. No, it'll be Seabreeze to inbound, excuse me. Troutman to inbound under the basket. He throws it out high to O'Hanlon. O'Hanlon an open 3, in and out. Almost had it, did Nolan O'Hanlon. The Sharks have the ball. There's 8 seconds left. The Sandcrabs will not foul, and that will do it. 3, 2, 1, ball game over. And the Sharks use a dynamic second half to come back and put away the Seabreeze Sandcrabs 65-50. Once again, your score 65-50. We'll be back after a short break to recap the scoring and have a final word from the Shark Tank. Once again, your final score, Atlantic Sharks 65, Seabreeze Sandcrabs 50. We'll be right back. Back at the Shark Tank, your final score, the Atlantic High School Sharks 65, the Seabreeze High School Sandcrabs 50. Here are your scoring numbers. First for the Seabreeze Sandcrabs. Their top scorer was Nicholas Grubel with 13, then O'Hanlon with 9, Martin with 6, Henry with 5, Long with 7, Nettles with 4, Troutman with 4, and Armstrong with just 2. That gets their 50. And for the Atlantic Sharks, top scorer, leading all scorers, is Anthony Baldolato. He had 16 points. McDonald was next with 14. Reynolds had 10. Preston had 9. Killingsworth had 5. Agbula had 2. And Burke had 2. And that is how you get your final score. Atlantic 65, Seabreeze 50. And it was buoyed by a dynamic third quarter, 23-3, in which the Sharks scored 23 straight points out of halftime, and the only points the Sharks got were from a 3 as time expired at the end of the quarter. Remember, this is just the first of 3 Sharks broadcasts on the MJT Sports Production Sharks Radio Network this week. Tomorrow, the girls are in action against the Lake Mary Rams. That's a 6 p.m. tip-off. On Wednesday, former Sharks head coach Brad Frazier returns to the Shark Tank with his Deltona Wolves. That's a boys' game. And then on Saturday, a 4 p.m. start time as the DME Select team comes to the Shark Tank. That's, again, 3 games over the next 5 days. You can catch it all right here on MJT Sports Productions. So that'll wrap it up. Once again, your final score, the Atlantic Sharks 65, the Seabreeze Sandcrabs 50. The Sharks are 2-1, the Sandcrabs are 0-1. My name is Ben Michael Trevino. Thank you for listening, and have a very pleasant good evening.